Okay, everybody, we have this special episode for you here on our Podbean feed. So this is, now me and Chico back in October when Mike was in the hospital, we recorded a special episode exclusively for the Place to Be Nation pop feed called It Was a Thing on TV Presents. And we figured we'd bring that concept to our regular feed for this episode because The Mandalorian Season 2 just ended, and there's also been some big events in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we want to talk about because coming up in a couple of weeks is going to be the launch of WandaVision, which will finally kick off fourth phase of the MCU.
Yes.
Yeah, phase 4, because we were supposed to have it in May with Black Widow, and then, well, you know what happened. We talk about it a little bit in the year-end show, which is coming up on New Year's Eve. But, yeah, so let's talk about last week or 2 weeks ago we had
it was last week they had the season finale, the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian.
All right,
so we'll get to what happened in that episode momentarily, but here's been the sort of overarching story of the second season.
Yeah.
After seemingly defeating Moff Gideon, I was like, yeah, what is Giancarlo Esposito's character? After seemingly defeating Moff Gideon,
the Mandalorian,
he is charged with delivering the child to an ancient order called the Jedi.
Yes. And so the Mandalorian, we know what the Jedi are, but the Mandalorian has no idea who the Jedi are.
Yeah, remember, he's from outside of the galaxy that ain't never heard of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's like, we ain't never heard of them Jedi.
All these Jedi be really Jedi. So, the Mandalorian's jumping from planet to planet, and he runs into people wearing Mandalorian armor. And one of the overarching themes is, where did you get that armor?
Oh yeah, so the first episode in season 2, he's back on Tatooine, and he actually runs into Amy Sedaris' character from the first season. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, fun fact, do you know what Amy Sedaris' character's R2 droid is?
No, I don't.
Her R2 droid is the droid from A New Hope that had a bad motivator.
Okay, oh, now I see it. So, the first guy who he asks, where did you get that armor, is a marshal of the town Mos Pelgo on Tatooine by the name of Cobb Vanth. He ended up freeing his town using the armor that he bought off Jawas.
So the Jawas just found this armor. They found Boba Fett's armor, and they were like, oh man, we could use this armor. We could sell this armor. They have no idea who it belongs to.
But the episode ends with the owner, a very scarred Boba Fett, watching. Like, yeah, I'm going to need that armor. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, we go to our next planet where we meet a frog lady.
Oh, a frog lady, yeah, because Amy Sedaris' character asked the Mandalorian, hey, this frog lady, she needs to get back and have her eggs taken care of.
Yep, and her eggs taken care of. Daddy's gonna fertilize the eggs, and again they have to be very carefully handled. Like, very carefully. You can't make the jump to hyperspeed with the eggs on board.
No, they'll die because the glass will easily shatter.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we'll get there. We are getting there.
But we're gonna get to the best part in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the best part in episode 2. Okay, so we talked about this in the New Year's Eve episode. Damn it, this is so great. We have to talk about it again.
Yeah, let's talk about this again.
Okay,
Crash lands on, I believe it's what is it?
An ice planet. And he crash landed on an ice planet because I think the 2 New Republic guys in the X-Wings Or trying to patrol.
They shot him down. It's like they shot him down, and now he has to take a moment to make repairs on the Razor Crest, obviously.
Yes, but okay. Before that, though, we have this big scene where the child he sees the eggs.
Oh boy!
You have this music, and he looks at the eggs intensely, and you think, well, what's the scene gonna be with the eggs? Like, does he? And he touches the glass, like he has like what it like. Is it a force thing or? And then the Mandalorian finds him, and he's eating the eggs.
Oh!
He's eating the eggs.
Yeah.
What? Well, he's a baby. He doesn't know. He's a 50-year-old baby. He has no idea about these eggs.
Yeah, well, he's about to find out because... Again, he's about to find out because we go to Trask in episode 3. And...
wait, hold on. Before that, though, they encountered those spiders because the child, because he's the child, he goes and he encounters like spiders, those scary ass spiders.
Yeah, and of course the X-Wing pilots, they find those spiders and kill the spiders because, again, the Mandalorian helped them apprehend the accomplices from an earlier prison break in that episode.
Oh yeah, wasn't it the one with the Bill Burr episode from season 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So they basically leave him off with a warning like, "Don't come around here again."
Yeah, don't come around here no more, as Tom Petty said.
And he's like, "Hey, I got nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to carry these eggs to Trask." And so he does.
He goes to Trask, and
he meets the frog lady, the frog lady's husband.
Oh, that was the sweetest scene.
That was so darling.
Yes, that was so great. It's like, oh, she's reunited with her husband. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yep. So while he's fertilizing what's left of the eggs, not important why, the Mandalorian is directed to a derelict fishing ship and fishermen who want to sell his armor? What?
Oh, yeah. Because Mandalorian armor is, like, I guess, such big business, I guess.
Yeah, talk to Cobb Vanth about how big business Mandalorian armor is. I'm sure he'll tell you stories. In the midst of his current troubles, he is rescued by 3 Mandalorians, led by Bo-Katan Kryze. And what's the first thing he says?
Oh. He's like, "What, you took your helmet off?"
Okay, that's the first thing he says. What's the second thing he says?
I forgot what the second thing he said was.
Where did you get that armor?
Where did you get that armor?
Yeah, turns out this is a new, more progressive sect of Mandalorian that he's run into.
But of course, Bo-Katan we all know from the Clone Wars cartoon.
Of course, Bo-Katan is played by
Katie Sackhoff.
Thank you. And she reveals that the main objective is to capture the ship along with the weapons for their war effort to reconquer Mandalore, which is understandable because ever since the Mandalorians spread out across the galaxy, Mandalore has been taken over by some really bad guys. And by bad guys, I of course mean what's left of the Empire, led by Moff Gideon, who wants to crash the ship, but Bo-Katan stops him, commits suicide. Well, actually, no, he doesn't commit suicide.
No. Because we see
the Imperial captain commits suicide.
Oh, yeah.
When he's asked about, are you ready for this?
What's he asked about?
Moff Gideon's dark saber.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember at the end of season 1, we see Moff Gideon emerge from a wreckage with a dark saber.
Yeah, the dark saber. The dark saber is like a very important piece that we find out later in the season.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bo-Katan tells Mando to go to the city of Caladan on the forest planet of Corvus to meet a Jedi called Ahsoka Tano. And if you've ever seen the Clone Wars, you know damn well who Ahsoka Tano is.
Yes, she's Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. Now we're in episode 4.
We're in episode 4 right now. And of course, because the Razor Crest is a bit on the derelict side, it needs additional work. And they make a detour to Navarro, where they're reunited with his good friends Grief Karga and Cara Dune. Of course, Grief Karga, played by
Carl Weathers.
And Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano.
We meet another person that we've seen before. The fish guy, played by Horatio Sands from the first episode, who literally sweats from his neck.
Oh, God.
He sweats steam from his neck. That's amazing.
So you notice a lot of things are improving under Grief Karga and Cara Dune, and yet there is a remaining Imperial base on the planet, and that's gotta go. We gotta destroy that.
Oh yeah, they gotta destroy that. But meanwhile, so the Mandalorian, he leaves the child in this classroom. The child is looking at this kid who's eating macaroons. And he's like, I want some of those macaroons. So he uses his force powers to take the macaroons.
Again, high M count.
Oh yeah.
High M count.
He really wanted to eat those macaroons.
And yet, he eats them and gets sick.
Yeah, we'll get to that part later.
The base is being used, by the way, as a laboratory by Dr. Pershing to conduct experiments with blood with a high M count. And you know, Jedis are known for having high M counts.
Yeah, they don't say the word, but we know what it means.
Mm-hmm. Midichlorian. Anyway, they destroy the base, and yet are given chase by a fleet of stormtroopers on speeder bikes and a bunch of TIE fighters. They manage to repair the Razor Crest and hightail it out of there, while Cara Dune and Grief Karga stop the speeder bikes, and the Mandalorian destroys the TIE fighters.
Oh yeah, and then the child's celebrating, like, yeah! He blew up the TIE fighter!
Again!
Ooh!
Okay.
And then he vomits and gets sick.
Yeah.
But, okay, before that, though, they're doing something, the Empire, in this room. Okay? You see, like, these weird things that you don't know what it is. So, we're left to wonder, is this the origin of, in The Rise of Skywalker, we know that Palpatine behind the scenes was making all these Snoke clones?
Yeah. And,
So-
and it wouldn't be the last time we saw a bunch of clones in this season.
So I'm guessing they need Baby Yoda's midichlorians to create Snoke, I guess?
Or they're experimenting on the child's blood somehow. Because, again, high M count. So, Mando and the child are on their way to Corvus. However, they are currently being tracked. By who? Somebody under Moff Gideon's charge, obviously. They arrive at Caladan on the planet Corvus. They buy the population, and this is all in episode 5, by the way. They're living in fear of the city's magistrate, Morgan Elsbeth, and her guards, including a hired mercenary named Lang. By the way, Morgan Elsbeth, played by Diana Lee Inosanto, and Lang, played by Michael Biehn.
Kyle Reese.
Yep, Kyle Reese in the original Terminator. Elsbeth offers the Mandalorian a spear of Beskar steel in exchange for killing Ahsoka Tano, who the Mandalorian finds outside the town, and obviously he presents the child to her. And using the Force, they have a one-on-one connection where we find out the child's name, Grogu.
Yeah.
I was expecting something a little more peppy, but whatever. Apparently, Grogu had begun training as a Jedi before the rise of the Empire. Ahsoka agrees to continue his training, but then they kind of find themselves in the midst of a Mexican standoff of sorts, because she'll only do it on the condition that Mando kills Elsbeth. Elsbeth wants to kill Ahsoka. Ahsoka wants to kill Elspeth. Elspeth's offering a spear of Beskar steel. Asuka's offering to watch the child. What's the deal he takes? The Mandalorian ultimately kills Lang. Ahsoka confronts Elspeth and wants to know where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. Ahsoka refuses to train Grogu due to his close attachment to the Mandalorian, so she directs them to an ancient temple on the planet Tython where Grogu can use the Force to find other Jedi and decide his own fate. He also gets the Spear of Beskar Steel.
Oh.
So, yeah, makes out a winner on both ends, doesn't he? They managed to get to Tython in episode 6. However, when they come to the temple where the child, enables his connection with the Force, Mando runs into a couple of familiar faces. The first is Fennec Shand, who, of course, is played by the lovely and talented Ming-Na Wen. And the second is Boba Fett, who was looking at the armor from episode 1, played by Temuera Morrison, who I believe played Jango Fett in the prequel trilogy.
Attack of the Clones, yes.
Yeah, which makes sense because, the Fetts are all clones of each other.
Yeah. So yeah, they go to the temple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Mandalorian and the child, they go to the temple.
They go to the temple. Grogu does his connection with the Force thing, and the Mandalorian agrees that he will return the armor of Cobb Vanth in exchange for the safety of the child. And then Moff Gideon arrives.
Oh.
With all of his good friends.
Oh, yeah.
And Moff Gideon destroys the Razor Crest.
Oh, yeah, this was the most heartbreaking scene.
Oh, no, we're getting to the most heartbreaking scene. Because not only does he destroy the Razor Crest, his Dark Trooper droids manage to capture the child. That's the most heartbreaking scene.
I don't know. I felt the Razor Crest was like one of the most important characters in the show. It's only a ship, but damn it, that's like now more iconic than the Millennium Falcon.
Well, to each their own, I guess.
Yeah.
But Fett and Fennec said, well, we promised that we would look after the child, so we have not honored our deal yet.
So basically this becomes like that episode of Family Guy where Peter Griffin has the idea for bigger jaws.
Ah, stop eating our boat, Jaws.
Rawr, I'm gonna eat your boat, and then I'm gonna eat you guys. Rawr! Oh my God, what's that?
It's bigger Jaws.
Oh my God, now we have a common enemy. We have to work together.
So now the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, they have a common enemy, so now they gotta work together to solve the problem. So now we get into episode 7.
And Kara uses her newfound credentials as the Marshal of the New Republic. By the way,
why is that?
I smell spinoff. Just saying.
Oh yeah, because they kind of teased that in the reveal on Disney Plus, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, they kind of tease it in episode 4 that because the X-Wing guy from episode 2 shows up and says to Cara Dune, "Hey, have you ever considered helping us out?"
Well, she does. That she has to transfer Miggs Mayfield out of a New Republic prison. You remember Miggs Mayfield, right?
Yeah, because we talked about him earlier. Yeah, because played by Bill Burr back in season 1 of The Mandalorian. So now they got to use Mayfield to infiltrate this Imperial camp,
which they do.
They do,
and it's an Imperial mining hub on Morak. And basically put, they all end up trying to infiltrate a convoy of exploding Rhydonium.
Because we find out from Mayfield that this Rhydonium, this is some serious stuff. You can't blow this up, or else, everything will it's like an atomic bomb, apparently.
Yeah, and a lot of the Imperial ships carrying the explosive Rhydonium do in fact explode.
Oh yeah, they explode.
And while that's happening, Mando is infiltrating the hub, and they have to get the coordinates for Moff Gideon's Star Cruiser, which means, are you ready for this?
Yeah, what is it?
He has to take his helmet off.
Oh, no. He has
Oh,
to take
yeah.
his helmet off. We've only seen it once, but that was in season 1, and it was with IG-11,
Yep.
who's now dead.
Who is now very much dead.
He's now very much dead, but it was a droid, so it didn't really count as a person.
So Mayfeld while Mando's getting the coordinates, Mayfeld confronts his old commanding officer and kills him.
Oh, yeah, because the commanding officer didn't know he was in his battalion once. But you hear the officer talk about, he just basically reveals the plan straight to them.
Uh-huh.
And
like, before I kill you, Mr. Bond.
Oh, yeah, he does the whole Ernest Travo Blofeld, I'm going to explain the plot right here to you guys. And Mayfeld's like, so, because they talk about how, you get the sense from talking about this guy that he did not like this guy whatsoever.
Nope.
He did not like this guy. He did not like his time working in the Empire. And
not at all.
And you get the sense when he shoots him, like, no, I'm not, the Empire is not coming back, not a chance in hell. And he just straight up kills him in cold blood.
Yep, that's basically what we're looking at here. Meanwhile, the Mandalorian sends Gideon a message, basically doing the John Rambo thing.
No, he's doing Liam Neeson and Taken.
Oh, well, either one. Basically saying, I'm coming to get you.
Oh yeah. And now we get into the finale. Now we get
into the finale. So the Mandalorian and Cara Dune, they capture Dr. Pershing, and they have to get the help of Bo-Katan, Cosca Reeves, and Boba Fett to go to Moff Gideon's Star Cruiser and retrieve the child and the Darksaber.
And we didn't even mention, because she was in episode 3, Cosca Reeves played by
Mercedes Varnado,
who you otherwise know as the WWE Sasha Banks.
Child, Darksaber, Cruiser, let's go. And Fett is pretending to attack in Slave 1. So that's going to be an interesting little confront right there. So Bo-Katan, Cosca, Fennec, and Dune fight through stormtroopers to the cruiser's bridge, which is empty!
Oh, it's empty.
Empty! But the Mandalorian finds an army of, I told you we would get back to this, Dark Trooper droids.
Yeah, Dark Trooper droids.
And one of them escapes the hold. Mandalorian defeats him with the Beskar spear and ejects the rest into space. And then Moff Gideon and Mando finally have it out with the Beskar spear versus the Darksaber, which he makes the full mistake of saying the only thing the Darksaber cannot penetrate is Beskar armor. Guess what the Mandalorian is wearing?
Beskar armor.
Yep.
So what a coincidence. The only thing it can't penetrate, he's wearing.
Oh, yeah. So long story short, Mandalorian gets the best of Moff Gideon again and retrieves the Darksaber, which he uses to rescue the child.
So he's just going to give it to Bo-Katan, but...
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
So he was just going to be like, okay, yeah, here you go. And Moff Gideon's like, no, that's not how the Darksaber works.
No, you have to win it in battle, just as...
Why?
It's like, I have to win it in battle, just like you did.
Well, why couldn't Bo-Katan just have kicked him in the balls and be like, okay, I won. I get it now. I beat him in battle.
The whole honor among thieves thing. But but all of this is going on. We're all happy. We all got what we wanted. But the Dark Troopers are back on board the Star Cruiser.
Oh no, the Dark Troopers are back. Oh no. How are they going to get out of this? What's going to happen?
How are they going to get out of this? Insert mysterious cloaked figure with a green lightsaber.
Wait a second.
Only one person in the galaxy has the green lightsaber.
Wait a minute. You're right. There's only one person in the Wait a minute. No, Chico, they couldn't. It can't be.
It has to be. It has to be. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker up in this bitch, yo!
Oh my God! Oh, yes, he's here and he's killing all these dark troopers. He's just destroying them left and right with his lightsaber. And okay.
Yep. Yeah. And by the way, played by a digitally de-aged Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
That's an interesting sight to behold, really.
Oh yeah. Okay. By the way, Chico's sister just came into the
my sister just came in. Say hi, Keys.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody who's listening.
Everybody. Came back from saving the world.
Yeah.
We were just talking about saving the world, saving the galaxy, really.
Yeah.
And you just heard the big spoiler of Episode 8 of The Mandalorian. Digitally de-aged Luke Skywalker.
Has she watched any of The Mandalorian?
She has not watched a single... Actually, she watched one episode of Season 1 and couldn't watch the rest of them.
She's like, no.
I haven't seen one single episode.
Oh, you haven't seen a single episode?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for so that I can blitz watch it.
2 whole seasons. Go blitz watch it.
Oh.
I'm also concerned that whenever I watch something and I get into it, invariably it gets canceled.
It's already been renewed. Go watch it.
So I'm waiting to
It's Disney. They'll renew. It's Disney Plus. They'll renew it.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely renew everything.
I'm ready to get a good supply of episodes under the belt so I can. There's a little black man sitting over there in the corner.
Okay. So.
Oh, by the way, I didn't want to say anything, but while you were talking, Gisela, they just showed on Taco Bell. There's this new Taco Bell ad spot for a mock trailer for the return of the nacho fries, starring Joe Carey from Stranger Things.
Nice. Okay, so that's what they want. The Jedi has the child.
Yeah, we did, because while we were interrupted, yeah, Luke tells the Mandalorian, listen, the child's not going to be safe. I'll take care of the child, but he's got to make the decision. And so the child is like, I don't know. And then who shows up? R2-D2 shows up.
Oh my God!
R2-D2, and that convinces the child, you know what? This droid, this little guy, I like him. This mysterious man seems nice enough. But before he leaves, with Luke Skywalker and R2-D2, the Mandalorian takes his mask off, and he looks at the child.
And the child looks back.
Yeah.
And he's like, now, you want to talk about connections? There's your connection.
It was very like the ending of E.T.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the ending of E.T. So, yeah, he's gone, and then...
It's like he's gone and they're gone. But we later see, in a post-credit scene, Boba Fett and Fennec Shan traveling to Jabba's palace on Tatooine. Bib Fortuna sitting on Jabba's throne.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, get the hell off my throne, son.
And he kills him. And by the way, Bib Fortuna, he really got fat.
Yeah.
He really got fat after Return of the Jedi. But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Max Rebo survived the sail barge in Return of the Jedi? Because if you treat Robot Chicken Star Wars as canon, he had to make it to a gig.
Come on, man. Get him on me. Oh. No. Man, we got a gig tonight. How much supposed to play some gig with a horn guy dead and a single woman dead? Man, man. Come on. Oh, no. Piano all busted up, man. Them dead, them piano all dead. Man, we got a gig tonight, man. What the is that thing? Channel it with Tito money me up, man.
Yo, just stereotype. How about tossing down a rope?
Ain't no rope up here, man.
We're not picking.
Ain't nobody up here, man. You talking to yourself. You having a dream, man. I got a gig tonight, man.
I will f***ing kill you. Don't you leave me down here with this talking walnut.
You know what? That hurts me. That is 1 of the 10.
1 of the what?
1 of the 10? 9 times out of 10, I enjoy a good joshing, but 1 out of every 10,
I will
just
pay you
know
10
it's...
million space dollars for a f***ing rope.
Oh, man, so mother tired. I got my feet hurting, man. But I gotta make it to the gig, man. Don't never miss no gig. I'm here, man. I made it. I'm walking across the desert, man. No! You gave a gig away, man. That's up, man. I'm 30 minutes late, man. That's jazz time, man. Size noodle droop in my cool dead in vain, man. You know what? Y'all suck. I'm gonna go throw myself in that desert.
Yeah, he really needs to make it to that gig.
Yeah, he's not happy about that.
He's not happy about not making it to the gig. But yeah, so all right, December 2021, the Book of Boba Fett.
It's like, where are they? It's like, how are they going to incorporate Boba Fett and Fennec Shand? Well, they pretty much have an open book because I don't think Boba Fett was in any of the sequel trilogy.
No, he wasn't in the sequel trilogy at all. So it's like they can do whatever they want with him.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of the sequel trilogy,
yeah, because we mentioned this in episode 4 with what we think are all the clones of Snoke.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams are like, there's no way that we can do Star Wars after the original trilogy. Meanwhile, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are like, hold my bone broth, I got this.
Well, the thing I like about The Mandalorian, and I'm guessing all these other Star Wars series that are going to come out, they are trying to do their best at trying to make all the movies feel complete. So you got a little something from the prequel trilogy, you got a little something from the original trilogy, and you got a little something from the sequel trilogy teased as well. So it's like for the first time now, because season 1 came out before episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, came out. So this is really the first true Star Wars thing that's released post all the Skywalker saga movies. So they've trying to incorporate everything into this show and have it be like, so when you watch all the other movies later, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
But they're not done because we have the Book of Boba Fett that's coming out next year. We also have Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka. And then you have Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Acolyte, and Lando.
So I'm going to presume Lando is going to be the Donald Glover Lando from Solo.
Which would make sense because it would make sense.
And also, let's be honest, Donald Glover was the best part of Solo.
He was.
And Mandalorian Season 3, I think, is going to be after Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. It's like they're going to start working on it after they finish Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett.
Well, the question is, where do they go now with The Mandalorian?
Yeah, because the story was basically the child and the Mandalorian, and now that they both have what they want, it's like, okay, where do you go from here?
So the next step would probably be them going to Mandalore.
To help the Mandalorians free it from the... Oh, I can't. Now I get it.
That would probably be the next step.
Make their way to Mandalore.
Yeah. But the thing is, okay, now the child is with Luke Skywalker, but now you have this whole mystery about, okay, well, what's going to happen to him?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know what's going to happen to Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple of Kylo Ren. Is he going to find a way to escape?
Gonna be hard.
Now, from what I heard, the whole thing with all these series is they're going to lead to a big Avengers-type event in the Star Wars universe. Season 2 of The Mandalorian, that's done, and so we're going to have to wait another 12 months for the Book of Boba Fett, and
a little bit longer for The Mandalorian Season 3. At this point, it's like waiting for Game of Thrones while watching Westworld, or waiting for Westworld while watching Game of Thrones.
Or waiting for the Game of Thrones prequel.
Which is also going to be awesome.
Oh, because Matt Smith's in it.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I only saw like part of the last season of Game of Thrones because it was on before Barry. And you know how much I love Barry?
I know how much you love Barry.
I'm going to be honest, since this prequel starts at the very beginning of Game of Thrones, I'm going to give it a try.
Okie dokie.
Until then, we're going to take a short little break, enjoy some classic commercials, and we'll be back as we talk about Phase 4 of the MCU as we preview that. So we'll be right back in just a minute.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Thursday, it's a birthday surprise to David from Mickey.
We're underpaid.
We got it made. And is Carla's sister as pure as the driven snow?
She's loose.
Only Sam's gonna know for sure. Cheers. Then it's the season premiere of Hill Street Blues.
It's gonna be a doozy.
The Emmy winner returns Thursday.
Be there.
She put on a uniform and risked her life. When she took it off to become a magazine centerfold, she risked her family, her lover, her job. Policewoman Centerfold, Monday.
CBS Sports Break, sponsored by the Hoover Company.
Good evening. Chicago's Michael Jordan with 55 points became the first player in NBA playoff history to record back-to-back 50-point games. His Bulls take a 2-0 lead in that best-of-5 series. Elsewhere in the East, Larry Bird was the high man in Boston, 36 points. As the Celtics ran away from the Knicks again, the Celtics lead 2-0 in that best-of-5. Meantime, out west, Seattle got a super performance from Dale Ellis, 24 points as the Sonics even that series with Denver. And I'll have more after this.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Spills clean up fast with the cordless Hoover Double Duty. Dry spills and wet spills, too. The Hoover Double Duty. It eats, drinks, and says, Happy Mother's Day.
In baseball, Dwight Gooden became the National League's first 6-game winner. That's 5 more victories than the Baltimore Orioles had managed all season. For CBS Sports Break, I'm Pat O'Brien.
This is CBS.
I think men and women should share household chores. Don't you? I cook, and my husband Bill does the dishes. He's terrific at it. He always scrapes the plate, and he never, ever overloads.
No matter who does the dishes, Cascade does the dirty work. Other leading brands can leave spots so your dishes look dirty. Cascade with sheeting action gets them so clean they're virtually spotless.
Perfect! Just like you, my little.
We're back with WCW. Goldberg's in trouble. Ming to the front. Back he goes to the turnbuckle. Into the gut. But Goldberg rebounds with a headbutt. Ming on the outside. Ming gets a chair. Goldberg gets a chair. This could get ugly. They're gonna eat pizza.
Little Caesars WCW meal. Get a free WCW motion card when you order 2 medium pizzas for just $9.99. Collect all 4.
Pizza.
I'll trade you these 3 for a Goldberg. Nope.
NBC wants to make dreams come true.
Oh, I just want to give a house away, that's all.
Share the joy and play along for your exciting dream house weekdays. This week, play along and go crazy with all your favorite Hollywood celebrities. On the new Battle Stars, the game show that'll blow you away faster than
a sperm whale with gas.
Alex Trebek is your huggable host.
Tom Selleck has nothing on you, Alex.
When the new Battle Stars blasts off this week on NBC.
Welcome back from commercials, everyone.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed all those old commercial.
Lord knows we did.
Yeah, we did. Oh, by the way, I did not know Paula Abdul apparently is on The Masked Singer.
Oh, no, The Masked Dancer.
Oh, The Masked Dancer. Masked Dancer.
The Masked Dancer, which, by the way, premieres tonight as we record this.
Oh, yes.
So I've already set it to record, and I will give you a full sit-up whenever somebody asks for it. Anyway, it's really going to be all driven by the clues, because we don't know how any of them dance.
No, we don't know how these people dance.
You can see one person dance and say, hey, you're my Uncle Billy, aren't you? Is that you? Last time I saw you, you were hugging the toilet. Anyway.
So now, phase 4 of the MCU. We've been waiting. Oh, let's see. It's been a good...
I think the last time we saw like a commercial with a date on it was during the Super Bowl for Black Widow, which, by the way, has delayed to May of 2021. Y'all know why.
So, all right, the last technical thing that was released in the MCU would have been July of 2019, which would have been Far From Home, as we mentioned when when we talked about this the last time in October. So, okay. So now, because we're going to have the first series on Disney Plus related to Phase 4 on January 15th.
And I'm already ready for it. It is going to be WandaVision, which, of course, stars Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff and Paul Bettany as the Vision from the Avengers series. We're also going to see appearances from Tiana Paris, Kat Dennings, Randall Park, and Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, because Randall Park will be reprising, I believe, this character from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Jimmy Woo.
Yes.
He was the parole officer of Ant-Man.
Yes. And Kat Dennings, of course, reprising her character as Darcy in Thor and Thor: The Dark World.
And the new characters, they have their own connection with the universe. Tiana Paris is playing Monica Rambeau, who is the daughter of Maria Rambeau, who looks up to her mother's friend and colleague, Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, she was the little girl in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Her character, at least, yeah.
Yeah, her character, Maria Rambeau.
So how does she end up in this universe?
I have no idea.
How does Vision come back? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because
he was dead. He was
dead. He died when they took the Mind Stone.
Yeah. So like, how in the world does he come back?
I have no clue. Because remember, as I said before, he died when they took the Mind Stone in Infinity War. So how are they going to explain his sudden reappearance?
So I'm going to guess it's going to be like 8 or 10 episodes, this series.
6 or 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to try and figure out, because little, if any, has been released about this series.
From what we understand, this is going to be played like a sitcom, which is weird.
One of those old-timey sitcoms?
Yeah. So basically, this is like Old Lady House from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's why I basically described this series as. It's basically the MCU version of Old Lady House.
Life is hard on your own. But here's a place to call home. Old Lady House where there are no laws. Old Lady House there in menopause. Old Lady House, you'll never be alone.
Oh, God. Is that going to be the whole series, or is it just going to be one episode? How do we know?
But then in March, we're finally getting The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where we continue the adventures of Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes.
Of course, both are going to be played by Anthony Mackie, fresh off of doing a bit on season 2 of Altered Carbon on Netflix. And Sebastian Stan, I don't know what the last thing he was doing.
But we're going to have the return of Helmut Zemo from Captain America Civil War. And we're also going to have Emily Van Camp back as Sharon Carter.
The niece of Peggy Carter.
Yes. Which, man, you know, that kiss between her and Steve in Civil War, that's got to be like the most awkward kiss since Luke and Leia.
I kissed your aunt. What are you doing?
Yeah. George St. Pierre's going to be on this show.
What is George St. Pierre? He's reprising his role as George Betrock, a mercenary known for Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
A master of the French form of kickboxing known as Savate.
Yep.
I remember when Savate was like a thing they would discuss in the early UFCs, like, it's a French form of kickboxing.
Yep.
I'm like, oh man, Savate, that sounds mysterious.
It wasn't serious. Oh, actually, it was, but it kind of fell out of favor for some reason.
Yeah. And also we have Wyatt Russell as a new character playing the role of John Walker, who is a militaristic successor to Captain America created by the U.S. government. And
everybody who reads the comics knows him as U.S. Agent.
Oh, yeah, U.S. Agent. I remember the character because I remember when back in the day, 1990-91, Toy Biz had like a series of Marvel superhero figures because they had released like the DC superhero figures the year before when the Batman movie came out. And by the way, as a 5-6-year-old kid, I had all the DC superhero Toy Biz from '89. I don't know why my parents let me get them all, but they got them all for me.
Hey, enjoy it.
Yeah, they're probably sitting somewhere I also got the collector's case for it. They might still be, for all I know, in my parents' basement. They could be worth. And I go to like a shop out in Medford, a shop that sells wrestling figures called Hastel Toy. Hi, Mitch, by the way, in case you're listening. But he did have in that store a mock mint on card Toy Biz Marvel superheroes figure of U.S. Agent, and I do remember that figure as a kid. He's basically a Captain America, except he's like his suit's black.
Yeah, that's about right.
And he has a shield too.
But it's not like it's not the vibranium shield that Cap would wield because obviously.
No, that has a star. His is just like a circle. It's just a plain circle with like nothing on it.
He wears his flag on it. He says his flag on his chest.
Yeah, he doesn't really need. He's like, I don't need to show my patriotism on a friggin' shield.
And let's just say his patriotism, not to be denied, his morality, questionable.
Yeah, so he's kind of like, what would you say U.S. Agent is? He's kind of like...
He's a mercenary.
He's a mercenary
for America.
He's a mercenary Captain America. He's not the Boy Scout Steve Rogers is.
Not even close.
But remember, at the end of Endgame, Old Man Steve, he gave Sam his shield.
Yeah.
So we presumed at the end he was going to be Captain America, like in the comics, but he's not.
But so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because, again, all of this is supposedly taking place after the events of Endgame.
We'll see how that happens. All right, Wikipedia says March 19th is going to be the release date. I don't know if they've announced an official release date yet. For all we know, it could be any date in March.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just like in any date in May, they could go ahead and release the third TV series in the universe in Phase 4, Loki.
Oh, yes. Okay. So before we get to the movies, yeah, Loki. We got Tom Hiddleston reprising his role as Loki in this series. And it's going to be related to, I guess this is going to be kind of like directly following how Loki escaped with the Tesseract. So,
again, it's a time traveling epic, altering human history, using the Tesseract, ending up trapped in his own crime thriller.
Yeah, we saw in the trailer that he's apparently DB Cooper.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he jumps out of an airplane, and it's implied he's DB Cooper.
Okay.
And of course, in this series, because I don't think they haven't really announced much of a cast for this.
No, we do have a cast of Owen Wilson playing Mobius M. Mobius, a member of the Time Variance Authority, who polices the multiverse, and another member of the Time Variance Authority, played by Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who you might remember from the Doctor Who sort of arc involving Harold Saxon, playing Martha Jones's sister.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think, what episode of Doctor Who was she on? I'm like, oh, now that makes sense.
She was in that entire arc.
Yeah, that entire arc with her.
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah. So out of series 3 of Doctor Who, we've had 2 guest stars who became characters in a Marvel-related movie. You know who the other one was?
If I'm not mistaken, the other one was Karen Gillan.
No, Karen Gillan was season 5. It was series
okay,
5.
my mistake.
Okay, it was a guest star.
That was yeah, got nothing.
It was Andrew Garfield.
Oh yeah, Andrew Garfield. Although wait a minute. I was going to say, although he isn't part of the universe, but then I remember.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that.
Remember,
I said Marvel-related movie. I didn't say MCU.
Oh, okay.
That was the key word. Yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen in Loki. That'll be exciting. But okay, now we're gonna finally get to the movies.
Okay, so, the first movie is of course, the delayed Black Widow, with Scarlett Johansson's character's origin story.
I don't think it's necessarily an origin story. it's basically because this is going to take place after Civil War, but before the events of Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, never mind. Then it's sort of it's not an origin story, but it is a backstory of sorts.
It's sort of a backstory on Natasha's character. So yeah, we get to finally meet her family in this movie, or the people she considers her family.
Yeah, among them is Yelena Belova, another Black Widow, but this one is played by Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh, I wish I could remember who I remember her from, but
she was in that Midsummer movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And she's also in the movie Fighting with My Family, which is the WWE Studios movie based on the life of Paige.
She played Paige.
Yeah, she played Paige.
Okay.
And then we also have David Harbour from Stranger Things playing Red Guardian, and this is the character I'm most excited to see.
I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for this. So he's the Russian super soldier equivalent to Captain America. But But the hilarious thing is, he's basically fat. I guess he somehow got...
if anybody remembers David Harbour in Stranger Things, he is not a physically fit person.
Oh, no. This is probably going to be my favorite character, because I'm going to relate to this guy. This is the character I can relate to. He's fat! This is probably the one character I could realistically cosplay as.
I would pay money to see that.
How much?
Moving on.
Oh, yeah, William Hurt's back as General Ross in this one. You got Rachel Weisz in this as...
Another Black Widow.
Yes.
Helena Vostokov.
Yes. So I guess these Black Widows are they're like a thing in Russia.
I'm guessing they are. Another thing that's going to be in this film is the Taskmaster.
Oh, yeah, the Taskmaster. Not Kevin Sullivan. It's another Taskmaster.
It's the Taskmaster, the guy that can do anything and become anyone. If you are a follower of the comics, that's basically who Taskmaster is.
And if you played the Spider-Man PS4 game, you kind of are familiar with Taskmaster already.
Yeah, so that's going to be something to look forward to.
And then July 9th, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this because I grew up reading my dad's Shang-Chi comics.
Yeah, this is a character, as I mentioned 2 months ago, I know nothing about. So this is going to be this whole character is completely new to me. But yeah, so as we see in the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, now, guys, if you remember the Marvel one-shot with Ben Kingsley reprising his role as Trevor from Iron Man 3, All Hail the King, we learned at the end of the short that there's actually, because Trevor was a fake Mandarin by Killian, who was Guy Pearce's character, manipulating everything. But he finds out there's actually a real Mandarin, and he's not happy. He's not happy with Ben Kingsley's character, that he basically mocked him by playing the Mandarin. And we're going to see the Mandarin the real Mandarin, for the first time in the MCU.
So we're basically seeing this guy as the Mandarin. For those of you who don't know, Shang-Chi is the son of an American woman and Fu Manchu, who is sort of like the big bad in that series. And in the movie Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, he is going to be played by Simu Liu, who is known more as a stuntman in his native Canada.
So this is basically Marvel taking a risk here with an unknown actor, at least to American audiences. So that'll be something.
Yeah, he's known for more of his work in Blood and Water, which is a sort of a joint China-Canada production.
Oh, okay. And I'm kind of impressed by some of the people they have in the cast.
We
we got Awkwafina in the cast as Shang-Chi's friend. Michelle Yeoh's in the movie.
Yeah, Tony Leung, actor out of Hong Kong, who was named by CNN as one of Asia's 25 greatest actors of all time, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's playing the Mandarin in this. And also, Ronnie Cheng from The Daily Show is playing a character in this. All right, so then, November 5th, tentatively, we have The Eternals. Now, this is another thing I'm completely blank on. I know nothing about the Eternals.
I don't know anything about the Eternals either.
Yeah.
All I know is that they're sort of a race created by the Celestials along the same lines as the Immortal. Was it the Immortals? The Inhumans. Thank you, brain.
The Inhumans, because everyone's forgotten about that terrible Inhumans show.
Everybody, yeah, that might be on the list.
It's long since on the list.
It's long since on the list.
Yeah, it's so bad that Kevin Feige wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Because remember Inhumans was going to be in the end of Phase 2. Because Marvel really wanted to have, because this was like way before the Fox merger happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Feige's like, I don't want the friggin' Inhumans. Get that out of here. And so Disney was like, okay, Kevin Feige, we'll do whatever you say because you're making us a lot of money.
So we have the Eternals with Angelina Jolie and Richard Madden and Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, and he is completely buff for this movie.
He got built. He got ripped.
I want to know where he went to the. I
want to know his regimen so I can, get ripped.
Yeah, I want. Well, apparently, I can't do it now because of COVID. But seriously, whatever he did, seriously, I want to know. I want to know how you did it. Oh, Selma Hayek's in this movie.
Yep, Selma Hayek's in this movie. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones is in this movie. Gemma Chan's in this movie.
Apparently, like, the character Kit Harington is playing is going to be, like, a pivotal character going forward in the MCU. Which I guess makes sense, because you got Kit Harington coming off of Game of Thrones, so...
Dane Whitman, a human warrior who wields a mystical sword.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I forgot Gemma Chan was also in, she was in Captain Marvel.
Yep. She played Min-Erva.
Okay.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, because there's, like... there's only so many people in the universe. There's bound to be two people that look similar.
True.
And then, okay, at the end of the year in December, we've been waiting. It's been a long time coming, but we're gonna have the grand finale of the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy.
Yep, we have.
What's that? We're
basically having. All the Spider-Men! Just give them all the Spider-Men!
Apparently it hasn't been officially announced yet, but we haven't, but sources have told...
Your sources?
Sources have told this intrepid duo that there's going to be so many Spider-Men in the movie. It's going to be basically a real-life version of Into the Spider-Verse. Not only that, but it's also been foretold by Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt long ago in 2016 when they did the sequel to the Spider-Man musical. Spider-Man 2, Too Many Spider-Men. So let's go back. Back in Far From Home, Quentin Beck, he laid a trap on Peter Parker, and he manipulated the world into thinking Peter Parker killed him.
Yeah.
So, okay. And also, as we know, thank you, Pat Kiernan, the news was broken by J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons.
Yep.
Reprising his role from the Raimi trilogy, which, if you really think about it, basically did confirm the multiverse. Because
pretty much, I mean, not only, they're pretty much doubling down if you look at the cast, because we have Electro, Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro, Alfred Molina is coming back as Dr. Octopus, and Benedict Cumberbatch is coming back as Doctor Strange.
Yes. So, Doctor Strange is basically in this movie going to play the Tony Stark role from Homecoming in this movie.
Like, and this guy needs a mentor in all the damn films for some reason.
Well, let's be honest. He's still in high school. He doesn't know how to be Spider-Man yet. So I'm guessing this is going to be like complete the arc back, going all the way back to Captain America's Civil War. So we have the entire cast pretty much back from the Homecoming trilogy. But, okay, how are we going to explain all these villains that are coming back?
I have no clue. They haven't even started filming the thing yet. They don't start until next month, and they start filming in the Atlanta area in January and in March, and then they're going to wrap up in March in both Los Angeles and Iceland. So
okay, what are they going to Iceland for?
I have no idea.
Electro have like a lair in Iceland? Oh, wait a minute, I thought of something. Okay,
what's that?
Iceland. Okay, if Quentin Beck revealed that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, you know who would be after him probably? Kraven the Hunter.
There you go.
Kraven the Hunter would probably be... That's the only explanation I think there would be for Iceland, would be Kraven the Hunter.
Which would totally make sense now. All of these people coming back, you have to wonder who's going to be the big bad, because there's got to be a big bad in all of this.
Yeah, and how does this... Because, okay, Doctor Strange is involved in this, so you have to think, okay, maybe Quentin Beck is playing around, trying to bring... Because I have a feeling that Mysterio is still alive.
Yeah, what is he going to do, huh?
So, okay, he's probably like, I got a great idea. He's probably thinking of, here's what my thinking. This is how I would book this movie, okay? He's probably like, you know what? I revealed that Peter Parker's actually Spider-Man. Now I'm gonna destroy him. Yeah. I'm gonna get all these people that Spider-Man, in all the universe, in all these different universes that hate Peter Parker so much. And I'm gonna say, hey, kill this MFer for me. Kill him. Yeah. That's how I think it's gonna be. And then Doctor Strange will be like, oh no, Peter, this is a serious situation. You're gonna need some help here, and that's when
all the Spider-Men.
Yeah,
and who knows? There might be somebody playing Miles Morales by then. I don't know.
Yeah. You gotta think eventually at some point they're gonna cast Miles Morales at some point.
You almost said book. I totally got that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be exciting. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Another movie that's coming out in Phase 4 at the start of 2022.
Oh gosh, what?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. How could we have forgotten that?
Well, I blame the too many Spider-Men.
Too many Spider-Men. You had to crush that Spider-Man and then that other Spider-Man.
Which would probably explain all... The whole multiverse thing would probably explain where all the Spider-Man came from in the Spider-Man sequel, whenever that comes out. But yeah, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because Doctor Strange, he's always in tune with the multiverse. He always says there's like so many possibilities for how Endgame would end, and he said
it would be one in 3 million or something. Well, what a coincidence! It turned out to be the one situation where they won.
Benedict Cumberbatch is returning as Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, and joining him will be Chiwetel Ejiofor as Carl Mordo, a former master of the mystic arts and mentor turned enemy who hunts other sorcerers.
Yes, because if you remember at the end of Doctor Strange 1, he went after Benjamin Bratt. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get all the sorcerers now.
Rachel McAdams is returning as Christine Palmer, who is Doctor Strange's significant other.
Yeah, and I gotta say, she was very underutilized in the first movie.
Oh yeah, I imagine that she's gonna have a bigger role in this second one.
Hopefully.
Just a matter of hopefully. Speaking of bigger roles, Benedict Wong will return as Wong.
I have a question. What do you think Wong did during that time between Infinity War and Endgame? We don't think he snapped, right? He just stayed in that one room.
No, he just stayed in that one room. Probably playing Candy Crush on his phone or something.
He was binding his time until Hulk did his own snap and brought everybody back.
And also, Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch is returning.
This will be obviously after WandaVision.
Oh, definitely.
And then we got a new character in this one.
Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez, and according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, America Chavez is also known as Miss America.
Not that Miss America. It's a superhero called Miss America.
Yeah, and she is, and I'm reading point blank here, Marvel's first Latin American LGBTQ character.
Wow!
To star in an ongoing series.
Oh, that's amazing.
That sound you heard was the glass roof shattering.
The one important thing I want to note about Doctor Strange 2 is the guy who's directing it.
Who would that be?
That would be Mr. Sam Raimi.
Oh! The master of the Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
The only Spider-Man trilogy that counts, I should say.
Well, until Spider-Man 3 in the MCU.
Yes.
Then there'll be two, because considering Andrew Garfield didn't even complete his trilogy.
Yeah.
So.
We don't talk about the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, although he was good on Doctor Who and in The Social Network. We just don't talk about him in Spider-Man.
At least until it hasn't been confirmed yet, but we have an idea. Considering we have Sam Raimi involved, you gotta figure that maybe he's gonna introduce some characters we've seen in other Marvel movies, maybe?
Perhaps.
Maybe we'll see a glimpse of the X-Men? Maybe?
Maybe the Fantastic Four, maybe?
Maybe this is how the Fantastic Four come in?
Is it too much to ask to see a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't suck?
We'll get to that later when we talk about the MCU Fantastic Four, but I have to say, who knows? Maybe we'll have, in Multiverse Madness, characters played by actors of Marvel characters that weren't in any movies. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing. I'm still wondering, when does anyone from the Marvel TV series that's a word. When does anyone from the Marvel TV series show up? Because you remember, we had all the Netflix series, we had all the Hulu series and the Freeform series, and the upcoming. And you can't count. The main characters in the Disney Plus series because, well, they showed up first as movie characters.
Well, hold up. Didn't Jarvis the Butler show up in Endgame? As
Jarvis, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jarvis the Butler showed up in Agent Carter.
Yeah, but he showed up in Endgame. Because remember, when older Howard, the John Slattery version of Howard Stark, he turns to Jarvis and is like,
have we ever met that guy? You meet a lot of people, son. Seems very familiar. Weird beard.
True.
He does know a lot of people, but...
He does know a lot of people.
But little did he know he would be talking to his son. Doctor Strange 2. It's going to be good times.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't even get to the exciting part from Disney Plus coming in mid-2021.
What if?
With
Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher?
Yeah, we discussed this briefly on the year-end show that's coming up on New Year's Eve. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what if is, okay, so the Watcher this is based on the comic book. It's like, what if things in the Marvel Universe were different? I don't know. What if, I don't know.
I think the examples I gave were, what if Spider-Man married Mary Jane?
Or what if, Gwen Stacy didn't actually die, which they kind of already have.
And what if King T'Challa was kidnapped by...
by Yondu, which is going to happen in this series. So that's going to be exciting. Oh, and we're going to have what if in this series, what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum?
It's going to be a really cool watch, let me tell you.
Let's look at all the people that are coming back for this.
We have Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, the late great Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Josh Brolin as Thanos, Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Jeff Goldblum as Grandmaster.
Oh, I can't get enough of Grandmaster. I'm so excited he's going to be in this.
Yes. Sean Gunn as Craiglin Terry, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Jamon Hunsu as Korath the Pursuer, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Mother Bleeping Fury, Toby Jones as Arnim Zola, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, Neil McDonough as Dum Dum Dugan, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, Michael Rooker as Yondu Udonta, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, and Taika Waititi as Korg.
Oh, that's what I can't wait for Korg to appear in this.
Korg.
I'd say the most beloved character in the MCU is Korg.
Korg.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man. The only thing that does make sense is that nothing makes sense.
Okay. Additionally, Tony Stark, Iron Man, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Tanneler, Tyven, the Collector, Stephen Strange, Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel, and Howard the Duck will be featured in this series.
Yes, Howard the Duck.
Yes. And I presume Seth Green will be voicing him.
He has to.
I do know Steve Rogers is going to be in the episode I mentioned about Peggy becoming... she wouldn't be Captain America, she'd be Captain Britain.
So that's going to be interesting.
Let's look at...
What if Loki wielded Mjolnir?
Oh, that'll be sick. That would be sick.
And of course, later on, you have Miss Marvel.
Yes.
Played by Iman Vellani's playing Miss Marvel. And again, if you played the Avengers video game on the consoles,
you know who she is.
She's the one you're playing.
It's basically her origin story. And I actually just got that game on PS4. I gotta play it sometime, so.
Yes, sir, you do.
It'll be exciting to see, and I believe the character is going to be in the Captain Marvel sequel also.
I think so.
Because she idolized, because she was the successor to Carol Danvers, who was Miss Marvel previously, who, of course, became Captain Marvel. When she became Captain Marvel, there was a vacancy in that character, and they filled her with Kamala Khan.
Right. And then you also have Hawkeye, which is basically Jeremy Renner reprising his role as Hawkeye.
Yes.
With Haley Steinfeld, Vera Farmiga, Prof B, Tony Dalton, Zahn McClendon, and Brian Darcy James, and Alakwa Cox. With a special appearance by Florence Pugh as a Black Widow.
Yeah, so she's going to come into play into this series, though. Curious after Black Widow, how she plays into this series?
Okay, so, interestingly enough, though, this series is not about Clint Barton as Hawkeye.
No.
It's about him as Ronan. It's about Kate Bishop as Hawkeye, which is going to be an interesting little watch. Yes, the girl from Bumblebee who recorded that one song that one time that everybody was singing is going to be Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Of course, Haley Steinfeld was Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse. So this isn't her first rodeo with a Marvel character.
Talked about Loki, talked about What If, and then there was some more series announced. Moon Knight in 2022.
Yes.
All of these were just announced. There's nothing real to talk about. We have Moon Knight.
Yeah. Moon Knight is a character I vaguely know about. I know because he's in the Pinball FX games from Zen Studios.
Yeah.
So that's
all I know him as Marvel's answer to Batman.
Yeah. And apparently, from what I heard, this is going to be like an Indiana Jones type series. That would be kind of curious. Because I think Kevin Feige said his favorite movie is Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
that's going to be an interesting little watch there.
Yeah.
We also have She-Hulk featuring Tatiana Maslany, late of Orphan Black, of course. So that's going to be fun.
But also we have, in that series, we're going to have Mark Ruffalo reprising his role as Bruce Banner. And then, this is one I'm excited about. Tim Roth is reprising his role as Abomination from Incredible Hulk.
What?
Yeah. So, all they need is Tim Blake Nelson back as the leader, because I really want to have that loose end from Incredible Hulk finally answered.
Yeah, I guess
I've been hanging for 12 years about that plot thread.
They didn't answer that question in Thor Ragnarok, did they?
What question from Thor Ragnarok?
I don't know. No, it's like they didn't answer that question. That plot line you were just talking about. They didn't answer that question in Thor Ragnarok.
No.
Okay. Now we also have the from the people who brought you the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special comes the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
And this is going to be released in conjunction before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out. It's going to be filmed around the same time. So, is this going to be the MCU's parody of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Probably!
Will they have a news anchor before the special talking about fighting the Frizzies?
Probably!
Will they have fake commercials during the special?
Probably!
This would be so great.
Oh my god.
Okay. So, man, James Gunn has so much on his plate. He's got the Suicide Squad sequel coming out in 2021. And then afterwards, you're not going to believe this, Chico, but he's spitting off one of the characters from the Suicide Squad. And did you know this? It's going to be.
I did.
I think I told you about this. It's
you
did. It's going to be so method. The actor who's playing the character of Peacemaker is going to be played by nobody. There's just going to be talking to empty space. It's a completely method series, I heard. And Chico is shaking his head. If you know what we're talking about, you know who we're talking about.
He's talking about John Cena.
And then we're going to have this Guardians of the Holiday Special. And then, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but we'll get to that. We got to talk about the 2022 movie.
Oh, boy. Okay. We'll get to that film in a second. But Thor Love and Thunder, which is basically, okay, somebody else is going to wield Mjolnir.
And we know who it's going to be.
It's going to be Natalie Portman.
It's going to be Jane Foster who's coming back.
Yep.
How does Jane Foster come back?
I don't know.
Because we know in the storyline in Thor Ragnarok that her and Thor broke up. So how does she come back into play?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to figure out, but I do not know how they're going to thread this needle, so to speak.
Okay, so Tessa Thompson's back in this.
Because, of course, she is. She is, after all, the king of New Asgard.
Yeah. And, oh my god, the villain in this movie. Oh, this is so
Thor
perfect.
the God Butcher.
Played by Christian Bale. That's right, folks. The Dark Knight is playing the villain in Thor Love and Thunder.
The Dark Knight just got darker.
Yes.
And we have the return of Star-Lord.
Yes. Yeah, Chris Pratt is back in this.
How's that gonna? Well, I'd ask how that was gonna figure in, but remember, this is the same sort of franchise who had Thor fight Hulk.
Well, remember, Thor went with the Guardians at the end.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thor went
Endgame.
with the Guardians.
So yeah, maybe they'll just drop him off wherever he needs to go. I don't know.
I don't know either. So
yeah. Oh, and Jamie Alexander's back as Lady Sif.
Nice. So that's Love and Thunder. And after that is Black Panther 2, which I'm genuinely curious as to how they're going to sort of
right around the death of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And who they're going
to... They do have Ryan Coogler, who wrote the original Black Panther, so he knows how to write himself out of a corner if need be.
I don't know. Are they going to explore, like, these? I think Kevin Feige said at Disney Plus Investor Meet, it's going to be about the world of Wakanda. So, what else is there in Wakanda?
I don't know. As far as I remember, after the events of Black Panther, the Wakandans finally opened their borders to the world. And King T'Challa opens sort of a field office in New York City.
Yeah, and I think he opened one in Oakland, too.
Yeah.
Because doesn't, like, his sister, like, recruit, like, the two people in the basketball court at the end of Black Panther?
Yes.
It's going to be very tough. I'll be curious to see how they...
It's like... oh god, this is gonna be like it's like watching Jeopardy, knowing that Alex Trebek is not going to host that January 9th.
This is like okay, this is kind of like this is a whole different thing, but it's like watching the sequels to The Crow after Brandon Lee died.
Yeah, I imagine it's gonna be really good, but it's like okay, how is this gonna even happen?
Yeah. Well, that's July of 2022.
Yes.
And then November of 11th, 2022, tentatively, is the sequel to Captain Marvel.
With Brie Larson.
No, hold on. No.
Not Brie Larson.
It's
Barry Lonson.
What's her name? Her name Barry Lonson. She won Oscar for the movie Stalk in the Basement. Also, she's in the movie King Kong. He got love with her, but how he make sex with her? She's young, she's small, and here big. I don't know.
That's what Yaya said. It's Barry Lonson.
It's Brie Larson.
It's Brie Larson.
And she's reprising her role as Captain Marvel, and Iman Vellani will be reprising her role as Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess there's going to be some reason she returns to Earth. I get it, assuming this takes place on Earth.
Yeah,
maybe because if you remember at the end of Far From Home, like the end credit scene is basically Nick Fury on that ship. So I'm guessing maybe that kind of comes into play, I guess.
But remember, Ms. Marvel doesn't go out into space. At least I don't think she's going to go out into space. It's going to be interesting to figure out how they're going to incorporate her character.
Yeah. And then around the end of the year in 2022, no release date's been set for this yet, but
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, it's Quantumania, brother.
And it's so new that nobody has any details about it.
No details, but we do know that it's going to be Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are obviously going to be back in this.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're going to have Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer back in this.
Yep. And then you have it seems like it's been delayed since the beginning of time, but we finally get it in 2023, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh yeah, because this actually was supposed to come even.
This was supposed to, if I'm not mistaken, this was supposed to lead off Phase 4, but it never did. It
never did because there was all that whole thing where Disney fired James Gunn, and then he had to do DC picked him up to do the Suicide Squad, and Marvel was like, "Oh man, we messed up. Can we have you back? Because we can't get anyone to direct this movie, and nobody wants to do the movie unless you come back." So they was like, okay.
So they basically had to wait until he came back. He came back, and it took forever to do this movie.
Yeah, I think it was a shorter time for when Duke Nukem came out before Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I mean, for all we know, this may have been a Chinese democracy.
Oh yeah, Chinese democracy took 15 years. I'm pretty sure the day the Wild and Cried will be released before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But yes, so as we mentioned, the holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out late 2022, and then sometime in 2023, we're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
But also, Kevin Feige announced at Phase 4, we're finally going to get, in 2023, the long-awaited MCU debut of the first family of Marvel Comics.
The Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And who knows? Maybe this movie won't suck like the last three.
Well, technically it's 4, if you're counting the Corbin version.
I am what? I literally tried to drill that out of my head.
You know, the Corbin version, God bless Roger Corman, he tried.
Yeah. It's like, is it horrible, like horrible, or horrible like Roger Corman, God bless him, he tried?
I will say, though, if you have the first Tim Story Fantastic Four movie, the one to get, if you have like the extended version of the movie on DVD, that version is actually better than the theatrical cut, supposedly.
No, this is the director's cut of the Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
No, because technically I'm talking about the 2005 version.
Oh,
with Chickless and America's Ass. It was not Tom Villard.
Chris Evans, thank you, Brain.
Yes, botulism. Fantastic Four. That's gonna be. It's gonna be. I'm curious to see who they'll cast in it.
And as far as the TV side, we have Secret Invasion, which basically has an army of Skrulls living on Earth in secret.
Yeah.
Ironheart, which is basically, if you've seen Avengers Endgame, you know who Ironheart is.
Yeah, well, Ironheart, I believe, is going to involve a girl, a young girl in her neighborhood, because they kind of... All right, if you remember... At the end credits of Endgame, at the very end, you heard like a hammer.
Yep.
And it was basically to imply someone is building a new suit.
Yep.
So this is what that was teasing. And then you have, and this is going to be something, and this will, I think, be directly related to Ironheart, is Armor Wars.
I know that War Machine is somehow involved in Armor Wars.
Yeah, James Rhodes. So Don Cheadle's back in this. So, you know what I love about these Disney Plus series is that they're giving like all the people that might not all the characters that might not necessarily be a draw for a movie, and giving them like a series and be like, okay, here's something for them to do.
Like, here's a thing, there's a thing, there's another thing. There you go. Yeah. And it all comes back, and everybody's all figuring each other out. Boom.
So that's the entire slate right now for Phase. I'm guessing this is all going to be considered Phase 4?
This is all Phase 4 right now.
Okay, because...
And of course, it's subject to change at the whims of the mouse's whims.
Yeah. And supposedly, I'm going to say this, apparently we might be getting the Blade movie sometime, too, around this period. Because remember, they already cast Blade.
Yep. Who did they cast as Blade? Mahershala Ali?
Mahershala Ali, yeah.
Which is going to be interesting, because last time I saw him, he was the big bad in Luke Cage.
Okay, I didn't even mention this, but apparently in the Spider-Man movie, we are going to supposedly get Charlie Cox back as Daredevil.
I would love to see that, yes.
Yeah, but, okay, here's what okay. So, I guess the Marvel Netflix series are kind of like in where like Venom and the Morbius movie are in that sort of thing where it's implied they're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they're not really part of
sort of like the B-League Cinematic Universe, same league as the Runaways and Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. Where it's like, okay, you're kind of in it, but you're not really.
Kind of, sort of, but not really. Got it.
I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to be because, well, I'm going to be quite honest, it's going to be tough to top Wesley Snipes. Well, those Blade movies, they were like big back in the day.
They really were. And that's another weird thing because one of the Blade movies featured a younger Ryan Reynolds. And of course, who is Ryan Reynolds now?
Deadpool.
And
of course, obviously, at some point, they've been talking about it, they are going to bring Deadpool into the MCU at some point.
Which is going to be an interesting watch, just to let you know,
Yeah, and at some point, if Deadpool's coming, the X-Men are coming.
Well, I'm surprised they're not already there, especially with the New Mutants movie. But then again, the
New Mutants is not
technically.
It was still up in the Fox X-Men movie verse.
Yeah.
But now that that's now officially all done, it's like, okay, how are they going to introduce mutants into a world where supposedly mutants have never existed?
No clue.
The only explanation I have is, it's got to be multiverse. It's got to be they got to come in through the multiverse. And that somehow triggers something. Or WandaVision. Because remember, isn't Scarlet Witch supposed to be a mutant?
Scarlet Witch is supposed to be a mutant, yes.
Or as her and Quicksilver were described in Captain America, the Winter Soldier as miracles. Because, remember, Disney hadn't bought Fox yet. So they couldn't use the M word.
There were... What? You can't say that. Miracles? Oh, you can say that.
You can say miracles. So that's Phase 4 of the MCU. And it all starts January 15th. And when WandaVision concludes, we'll definitely have to do a wrap-up series for that.
Oh, yeah. It's always going to be an interesting sort of show when you don't know offhand what you're getting into.
Be exciting, and I can't wait for it.
Oh, you don't have to wait long. It's only going to be, 3 weeks away?
3 weeks, yes. But until then, remember, you can always catch... Well, if you're listening, we don't even need to do the plugs. If you're listening to us here on Podbean, you know what to do. You can go to itwasathingontv.com. You can follow us on the social medias at It Was a Thing on TV. And, you know what to do.
Yep.
We don't need to do the drill on this special episode.
No, we don't. But we will say big thanks to everybody at Place to Be Nation.
Yeah. Even though this episode won't be on Place to Be Nation Pop. But, yeah. Actually, you know what? I was thinking, considering for Spider-Man, I've definitely got to talk to Jennifer Smith or Andy Afferton about maybe doing something related to all the Spider-Man movies. Because they have a thing with the MCU things on Jenny's feed. So I was thinking maybe we could do like a thing, like a review series for the Spider-Man movies, possibly.
Like all of the Spider-Man movies. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's going to be hard to top Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, because I mean, I get we could do the Tobey movies, we could do the Garfield movies, we could do the 2 Tom Holland movies, and we can obviously do Spider-Verse. So. Yeah, that's 8. I get. Could you count Venom in that?
I would count Venom in that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9, and I guess when Morbius comes out, it's going to be 10.
Yeah.
Which I don't know about Morbius, but Matt Smith's in Morbius, so I'm going to have to watch it.
So it's basically Owen Wilson and Matt Smith. Okay, I'm in.
Well, no, Owen Wilson's in Loki.
Oh.
It's Jared Leto in Morbius.
Okay. So there's 2 Morbiuses.
There's not 2 Morbiuses.
Owen Wilson.
Oh, yeah, Owen Wilson's playing a character named Morbius, but not related to that Morbius.
Okay.
Because Morbius in the Spider-Man universe is a vampire.
All right. So now that I'm thoroughly confused, let's go ahead.
I don't know. You know what? As I said, there are only so many characters in the Marvel universe. There's bound to be 2 characters that have the same name.
Okay. I'll give you that much. So, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. So until next time, when we have, whenever this episode airs, it'll probably be before the New Year's Eve episode. I was 48 hours off. We'll see you next time right here on It Was a Thing on TV. And then I'll play something.
And I will crush that Spider-Man, and then that other Spider-Man, and all the Spider-Man. the Spider-Man clan. I wanna be proud, I don't wanna hide. Don't trap me in a cup and put me outside with all those